believe it's been a year since my 50th. Hello and what is up, you wonderful, wonderful YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists out there. Welcome to the P&Q birthday special. I'm 51 on this birthday. Actually, it's not my birthday today. It's my birthday in 2 days' time. But, yeah, I got questions. And some really good ones too. Really good. And thankfully, I had a friend of mine out to the studio yesterday, and he provided me with a couple of more questions, which is great for this. So, but before I forget, there is going to be one question that I was asked. Actually, it was by a family member, and they don't watch my YouTube, so they're not going to see my answer. But it was a good question, I thought, and I thought, oh, I'll answer it on my birthday, P&Q. I'm 51 on this birthday. I can't believe it. Still see some of the cards behind me. I think it's from my and they're on the wall as well, from my 50th birthday. Last year, that was awesome birthday. The best birthday I've ever had. I had a present for every year. It was an incredible experience. Never have I been that blessed. It was like all my birthdays into one. It was incredible. I'm not expecting that this year. It was a milestone. 50 is a milestone, isn't it? And a lot has happened in a year. So much. And there's so many things I want to update you guys on. But I can't just yet. But the time is rapidly approaching when I will be able to. Some good things coming. Some good things happening. Not just for me, but for the channel also. So that's good. But anyway, without further ado, we'll crack on with the questions, shall we? I've got my coffee. Make sure you get yours ready. I'm going to have a sip now. Lovely coffee. It's actually a decaffeinated one, but it's a strong one. It's a Nescafe one. I like Nescafe. The strong stuff. It's got a stronger flavour to it. Right then, I'll try and get myself a bit comfy. Right, okay. So majority of these questions, I think I'll ask these first. Shall I ask these first? Or shall I ask the ones that are left on the videos? We'll ask the ones that are left on videos first. I will make a note of, if I put, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a little space marine down there in front of me to hopefully remind me. He's pointing a gun at me right now. It's like, don't forget that question. Okay. If I do forget it, apologies. Maybe there'll be another P&Q. We'll talk more about that in another video anyway. But, right, so, birthday special, right. The first person, I think it was one of the first people to leave me a question on my video, comes from a YouTube channel called Adventures with Peps, Gaming and Reviews. So, he's asked me a few here. And then he said, if you've answered these already, no worries. Well, first of all, that's no problem, sir, because over the years, and I've been doing this many years, my opinions vary. And or people come and go in my audience that weren't around for the last time I answered them, if that is the case. We'll find out. Let's have a look. I probably won't even remember. Favourite model you own and favourite model, painted model. Right, okay. Favourite model I own is my Knight Valiant. That's the box. I don't know if you can see the box up there. I've only just started painting him. Favourite model I own. So he's just got some primer on right now. But that's the favourite model I own. My Knight Valiant. He's awesome! My favourite painted model is Magnus the Red. He's packed away somewhere, sadly. We'll see him in another video someday. Yeah, but Magnus the Red, my favourite painted one, and my favourite model I own is my Knight Valiant, for sure. Okay, so that would have changed. That would have been... It might have been Magnus the Red as far as my favourite painted model goes. So it used to be my Broodlord, which was a Broodlord from a Space Hulk game that I kind of sort of converted to look a bit more 40k-ish. But yeah, my favourite model now is my Knight Valiant, which is there. Okay. Biggest game system disappointment. Now, I would have to, that's a tough one, actually. Biggest game system disappointment. I would have to say and go with Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. The 3.5 edition, 3.5 edition. I didn't like it. It's far too complex. It took away the fun of role playing for me. For me, role playing is about the storytelling and the story arc and the fun you have as characters interacting with one another. It took away all of that. It became a mindless episode of flipping through rule books and tables and. It's true. There's a lot of table searching with solo role playing now. But the key to solo role-playing is to have your tools, whatever tools you're going to use, prepared, ready beforehand. So don't have them all out, because you just never, ever, ever have a game that's any fun at all. You'll just be reading rules and tables. That's it. Just take 1 or 2 books or sources of your information, have them to hand, ready. If you're going on a dungeon crawl, have some dungeon tables to hand. If you think there's a good chance you might be meeting NPCs, make sure you've got a book of tables that contains that in it. That's just simple stuff like that. But my biggest game disappointment, for sure, by far, was Dungeons and Dragons. D&D 3.5. Yeah. Okay, last question from Adventures with Peps is, ever played Tartarus Gate? It's an RPG. No, I haven't, sir. Sounds interesting. I don't know anything about it. I've not looked it up. I haven't Googled it or anything. But it sounds to me as if it might be a sci-fi type game, which would pique my interest. I like sci-fi role-playing games. That's true. I love the Alien ones. So who knows? I've never tried Traveller either, which is a sci-fi role-playing game. I hear it's very good, but I've not had the pleasure of playing Traveller. But yeah, Tartarus Gate. I could be totally wrong. It could be a fantasy role-playing game. But either way, the answer is the same. No, I've not played it. Okay. Right, so the next question comes from Mini Warmat. Hey Brian, how's it going? He says, what's your opinion on Trash Terrain? What's your favourite solo game? Your favourite miniatures of 2022 so far? Do you call your pile of shame or a pile of future projects? Take it easy, Pete. Right, let's start from the top. I need another sip of coffee for this one, Bri. Here we go. My opinion on Trash Terrain. I love Trash Terrain. However, I'm not very good at it. I'm really not very good at it. I try my best. I had a little go not so long ago. I'm trying to do this. It's not finished yet, but yeah. So I'm trying to sort something out here, and that's just trash that I'm using for that. But your Trash Terrain, sir, very, very good. Yes, so that was one of the things I disagreed with the solo wargaming show about. He said trash is trash, and I disagree strongly with that, because one man's trash is another man's treasure, and it can become treasure once you've put the creativity and thought behind it and to make it into some really cool looking terrain. I think it makes as good a terrain as anything else. So yes, so that is my opinion on that. What is my favourite solo game? It has always been, still is, and always probably will be for a long time to go, is Zombicide. It's my favourite solo game. The mechanics in it are genius. I think they were groundbreaking when it came out. I have yet to pick up 2nd edition. That's not to say I won't. and I may do so in the future. Yeah. But Zombicide. Right. Okay. Favourite miniatures of 2022 so far? Well, my favourite miniature that I've bought. I haven't bought it. It was a Christmas present. Is my Night Valiant. If you're talking about what came out in 2022, I wouldn't be able to answer that because I don't know. But for me personally, obtaining, it's this fellow here, my Night Valiant, and yeah. Pile of shame, or what? Pile of future projects. It's a retirement pile, or a retirement shelf, which I'm hoping will evolve into a retirement cupboard, a retirement room, a retirement attic. Who knows how far it can go. I want to have enough new projects untouched that when I come to retire, I could open up a shop of my own. And yes, that's all the questions you had for me. I believe they're mini Warmat. So that's mini Warmat. Okay, so moving on to who took my dice? Miniature Wargaming. Who took my dice? He says, all right, here we go. 1. How do you feel about GW having seasons for 40k? And what are your thoughts on those marine models being discontinued? I wasn't sure what you meant by that. Did you? What? So I responded back to you. What do you mean by seasons for 40k? And you said, sorry, the new way they will be releasing the campaign books like Vigilus alone looks like a more regular release schedule, with these books pushing the story along while adding more rules. I think that's fine. Doing that is fine. I have no issue with the way a company releases anything. It's up to them. That's fine. As for my thoughts on marine models being discontinued, I don't know what marine models you mean. If you mean like characters, like Abaddon, and people like that, that's fine. I still want them. I still want to get the old ones. I still want to have them for my collection, as it were. I've got Captain Lysander of the Imperial Fist. I think he's discontinued now, but I just want them in my collection. I still want them, and it might be that they're discontinuing them to make way for new sculpts. That's all that could be asked. So other than that, I can't really comment upon that. And if that's not what you mean, I do apologise for misunderstanding your question. And you can always ask it me again, and I will do my best to respond. Right, so that's that. Well, that's all the questions that were written down on other videos, little shorts I did to remind people, hey, look, if you've got a question or comment, don't forget to send it over. Before I forget then, this Marine is pointing this gun at me. He's like, come on, don't forget. Okay, a family member asked me the other day on the phone, when I was speaking to them, that I know you do YouTube. They don't do YouTube, but they know about it because like their son does it and things. Well, they watch YouTube and that. So how do you feel? What's he say? How do you feel about getting negative comments and dislikes during the pandemic? Has it seemed worse to you? Something along those lines it was. My response was, I haven't noticed any difference. I feel the same way about any negative... First of all, negative comments. I don't really get negative comments. I get dislikes. Usually that's no comment with it. But I have had negative comments, obviously. They're usually from people that don't, or YouTube accounts that don't have videos of their own, so they're not content creators themselves. So really, they do not and cannot appreciate, I can't pick any examples now, but the effort and energy you put into making a video yourself, because they don't do it. then there's other factors to consider, like how well you're feeling at the time and things like that. So yeah, but whether give me a like or a dislike makes no odds to me, because it all still helps the YouTube algorithms, doesn't it? So that's fine. To which the response I got back was, "Oh, okay then." I don't think they really knew what I was talking about. Okay, well, these are some questions. Most of these were in person, and I apologise profusely. Some of them I know who asked. Some of them I've forgotten, and I don't want to get them mixed up, so I didn't want to write them down anyway because I wasn't sure if you were comfortable with that. But anyway, these are questions that were asked to me in person, and this could have been someone coming around to visit, me going around to visit someone else, waiting at a bus stop outside of Games Workshop, but that's fine. One was inside Games Workshop, and so they're all in-person questions. Okay, first one is, why is one of your thumbnails of a skyline, the painting snippets one? That's easy to answer. It's two parts to that answer. Before I answer it, coffee time. Haha. Part one of the answer is, I just love the skyline. It's the view out of my office window, my home office window. Early mornings before dawn, as dawn is breaking. Oh, it's beautiful. And the second part was painting snippets. They're only half hour, so they're designed to be done whenever, any time of day. And that's what kind of links with the rise of the dawn. It could be early morning, it could be early evening, it could be day, it could be night. Whatever floats your boat, whatever time you get free to hobby, you should do. And put on a painting snippets as you hobby yourself. That's why. Okay, next one. Oh yes. Yes, this was in the shop. Someone said, I like that you don't use any fancy intros in your videos, you just get straight into it. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I've experimented with that, haven't I, over the years? And I still may go back to it on occasion, maybe in the future, I don't know. But it's kind of my thing not to have long flashy intros. I, myself, am not a fan of them. I just skip to the start of the video. I don't watch them, so I don't want to waste anyone else's time by putting it in there. That's why I do that. I just get straight. I like to get straight into the video. I have the utmost respect for people that don't even edit their videos. They just have raw video, and that's it, raw to the core. And I think you all know who I'm talking about here. And if you're watching, sir, I like it. I really like it. I admire it and respect it a lot. Okay. Ooh. Someone said, what would be your ultimate hobby dream? My goodness. I really should have read through these beforehand, because it was a while ago that came up. My ultimate hobby dream. Okay, this will tie in with my ultimate living dream. I will be living in a place called Seaton by the sea. I will be retired. It will be a nice sunny day, have the windows open, I can hear the seagulls. I go into my room, my retirement room or attic or whatever it may be, look and peruse through the pile of models that I could paint and build, and just, I pick one. I go down to my hobby area, my little home studio as it will be, and I sit and I build and I paint and I model all day. I might make a video about it. That's my ultimate hobby dream. That right there. Yes. Do you have any tips for justifying the price of your hobby? Okay, coffee time again. Funnily enough, I was only talking about this last night with my friend, but this wasn't his question. And it was a thing of like, well, okay, yeah, you buy a box of models. Yes, it's not cheap, is it? take a big model like a Bane blade or something. You know, it's a lot of money. Imperial Knights, a lot of money. You pay out, you know, £80, say, or £85. Okay, initial outlay, quite a bit. Or a box set for over £150, something like that. Yeah, that's an outlay. But how long will that outlay give you pleasure for? My response? It will continue to give you pleasure for as long as you own it. You build it, you get pleasure out of building it. You get pleasure out of painting it. You get pleasure out of playing the games with it. You get pleasure out of seeing it on your shelf or in your collection. You could spend more, double than that, on a night out somewhere. And yeah, you enjoyed yourself, but what have you got to show for it? Not much more than a distant memory. And that's it. And we were talking about, well, I don't have any other vices. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't have any other things that I have to spend money on. I enjoy music, but I have everything I need for that hobby, and right there. And yeah, so it's not like I have a golfing addiction or anything like that. Years ago, I was into golf. That was expensive. I was continually outlaying money for that, like nobody's business. This hobby here is nothing. It might seem like it to people that aren't really looking into it like that, but think about it. Your miniatures, your hobby will give you pleasure for as long as you continue to own it and use it. Even though you're just looking at it, honestly, I just like looking at my models and I lose myself in them. I create little scenes in my mind, like with my Imperial Knights, what's going on, what could they be doing, and as I'm painting my Space Marines or my Lizard Men or whatever it may be, my role-playing figures, you know, I'm there in another world, I'm transported, and it's awesome. So, does it need any more justification? It helps me forget about my illness, forget about my pains, forget about life's problems. It's therapeutic, it's cathartic, it's awesome. I don't think I need to justify it anymore. Okay, moving on. Hey, last bit of coffee. Done. Right. Where did you get all of your rainbow coloured drawer storage units? Are they all on wheels? Can you add to them to make them taller, etc.? These things here. I have more over there. I've got them all different places. Yeah, I've been getting them for years. I was able to pick some up in a place called The Range. I've got them online. There's another shop like The Range. I can't remember what it's called right now, but I got one in there. This is over the years. Yes, they all have wheels on. Can you add to them to make them taller? So, yes, you can. They're designed that you can. I could stack them up higher if I wanted to. These lids, the top bits, they all pop off, and they're designed to slot in. You can make them taller, shorter, whatever you want. The choice is yours. So, hope that answers that question. Right, we're on to the questions that my friend was asking me last night. He was sat here, actually, when we were discussing this, and I was over that way. He said, where and how do you play these games, or do you just paint the models? Okay. I haven't played any games this year. That's true, of any description. And it's been difficult these last couple of years, hasn't it? I think it has for me anyway. But where do I play the games? My local Games Workshop store. I can go in and you used to be able to, and I think you can again now. It's just taking me a while to get things sorted. Go in. You could book slots on days to go in and have a game with a member of staff, and they will play you, or you can play another member of the public in your Games Workshop store. My Games Workshop store's got several tables in. It's nicely set out. Before that, I also used to belong to a wargaming group called the Plymouth Association of Wargamers. They used to meet every Sunday. I don't know if they still do. I did lose track with them due to job things going on. But that was every Sunday. Used to play games there, and who knows, in the future I may be able to again. But more on that on another video. What else did he ask me? Where are we? Oh yes, what brushes and paints do you use then? I use, for anybody that doesn't know me, I use mainly Citadel and Vallejo paints. And when I say Vallejo paints, that covers like Game Color and War Paints and all the ones that Vallejo make. Those drop bottles. Mainly. I do use loads of other ones. I use enamel paints. I use Humbrol paints, but I use P3 paints, Coat d'Arms. There's all sorts of paints I use. I use Militaire. There's loads, but my main ones are Citadel and Vallejo, or Vallejo. My go-to brushes are Army Painter for the most part. They're kind of my workhorse brushes, but I have many other different types of brush that I use. I have used a Winsor & Newton Series 7. Everybody raves about those, and they are good brushes. They are very good brushes. Personally, I think they're overpriced. That's just me. But they are good brushes. There's no getting away from that. But for me, I would rather spend my money on other makes. I should get myself another Winsor & Newton brush. I threw my last one away just after Christmas. And I haven't got another decent one like that caliber. But I should do really. I should pick myself up another one. I like the triangulated handles of Army Painter, but there's many other companies that do similar things with their brushes. I know that, and some of them I don't even know the names of. I just picked them up off Amazon. It was like, oh yeah, they're cool. Try them out, and they're very good. Some aren't, some are. It's just the way it is. And the last question for the P&Q Birthday Special 2022 is: are you going to keep collecting and buying models, or are you trying to build and paint what you've got? No, I'm going to keep buying and collecting, sir. Oh. Anyone else that wants to know? I'm going to continue to buy and collect models. I was going to mention something then, but I can't talk about that. The stuff I can't talk about yet, and when the time comes, you'll know why. Okay? We have a lot to talk about, put it that way. In the future, we've got a lot to talk about. But that's all the questions for this P&Q. I was impressed with these questions. I really enjoyed this one. It's going to be a good birthday. I'm going out for a meal on the Friday, which is the day after my birthday. Tomorrow I'm going to see my mum. I'm going to give her a Mother's Day gift that I've got her. And I've got some stuff for my sister as well. I just want to make sure they're okay up there. And yeah, it's going to be great. I've got a few days off, so yes, I'm enjoying life right now. My roof's all done on the house, so that's all done. It's finished. Just waiting for the scaffolding to come down now and be taken away. Now I can look at other stuff that he's doing, but that was like the main huge thing on our house that needed doing. It was in a bit of a state, but now I've got a brand new roof and guttering all the way around. Lovely jubbly. Thank you so much. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you if you've watched this far. I really appreciate my P&Q audience. I really do. It means a lot to me. Please like, share and subscribe if you're not already. But hit that like button either way, but I prefer that to that. Obviously I'd rather have that. Hit that bell button too and you'll get updates or you get notifications of future updates. Check out Patreon if you've a mind. There are exclusive videos on there for your perusal, starting from as little as $1 a month. Yes, there we are. Put it out there. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to war, and I'll see you guys on another video. Peace.